Hey, good afternoon, Shawnee and friends, and welcome to episode 43 of Patio Ponderings. And despite it being a very warm summer-like day outside, my patio is inside today. But I wanted to be in the room in our church that functions as a music room. I've got the keyboard behind me, I've got the drums behind me, there's a few electric guitars in the corner over there. Because if you know me at all, you know that I love music. And if you were to get into my playlists on my iPhone, you would find all kinds of music. You'd find rock and blues and pop and country and indie and folk and Americana. And there's so many songs and so much music from the more sacred sector that I love, and even classical. So music is very much a part of who I am. So I was really intrigued by some of the verses that we read from our Colossians reading this past Sunday. And so I'm looking at Colossians chapter 3, verse 16. The word of God must live in you richly. Teach and warn each other with all wisdom by singing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. Sing to God with gratitude in your hearts. I found that so interesting because I think when we think about music and worship and music in our faith lives, we get this singing to God in gratitude part pretty easily, or singing in praise. We might think of singing in our faith as a personal expression of our faith, and we might even understand it as a way of nourishing us spiritually, that music piece. But I wonder if we've thought about it much, about singing songs as a way to teach us, to teach each other, and to warn each other, to admonish would be another translation, to admonish each other, to stay true to who we are and whose we are, and to live the life of love that we are called to live. And that's what I found so intriguing, that singing songs is a way to learn and be warned or admonished. Now, as I thought about it, though, there's a few things that came to mind. And one has to do with how our brain is wired. So you may or may not know that our centers for music, making music, listening to music, is different in the brain from our center for speech, making speech, reading, listening to someone talk. And how that plays out in our lives is, for instance, people with dementia who, like my mom, who had long past the point of being able to put together cohesive sentences, who couldn't remember family or friends anymore, she could still sing. She could still sing her favorite hymns and all the verses. She hadn't forgotten that. That still resided in her because that's in a different place in the brain. Something similar is true for people who've had brain injury, that they are able to learn and relearn skills through music when they're unable to through speech. But I don't think that's what they knew back in the early church. And yet, there must be something intuitive to that, something in the understanding of the way God created us. Because here it is in this letter that Paul is writing to the early church to do this, to teach and to admonish through the singing of songs. I think it's absolutely fascinating, and I'm wondering if we should put a little conscious thought into that, and that's my invitation for you this week. When you are in church next time, and we are singing a hymn or a part of the liturgy, I wonder if you would just take a minute and think about how you might be learning from, or how you might be hearing reminders to live our lives more faithfully. How might the songs really help the Word of God dwell more richly within us. Love to hear your experiences with this and your thoughts on this. Have a wonderful day. Stay cool, and we'll see you Sunday. Bye.